Hi everyone, welcome to the next video in this series from Tiny Year by Agotapop, the Colouring Heaven magazine. This is available maybe in shops in your area depending on where you live, but also on Amazon as a download on Amazon paper. Now, and this we're doing March. The March pages are available on Agotapop's Etsy as well. All the details are in the description if you want to go and buy anything. But let's just move on and have a go at the straw hat. It's been a few days since I've actually done any recording on this page, and it's really sunny today, so I've got the blind shut and I've got my lamp on, but it feels a bit dark. I'm going to try moving my lamp a bit closer. I'm going to turn it a bit. There we go. I need to be able to see what I'm doing, even if it makes little difference to you. Right, I've done a few straw hat pictures before. I mean, this might not be a straw hat, it feels like it. But never with these pencils. I'm using the Schpirerr Farben. But we're going to get going. What I like to do is do a little bit of a pale background, like base, to the hat, and then we can put some sort of swirly things on to make it look a little bit more straw-like. I'm going to start with the golden yellow, so it's quite a yellowy start, and then because I don't want it to be too dark, so here's our golden yellow. Now I don't want to press too hard with this, so I'm just going to start doing it quite lightly. I can always come back and add more layers of colour, but with yellows I personally am prone to pressing a bit too hard, getting too much colour down and then not being able to add any layers on top. So I really want to avoid doing that, so I'm going to go quite gently, and as I said, I can go back on top. You might not need to worry about that, you might not tend to press too hard like me. So we're just going to do the rim as well. I'm doing both bits the same colour. It's yeah, it's really sunny today. It's the 1st of March actually, recording this, and we had a very heavy frost. It's like -2 or something, and very thick ice on the windscreen of the car, but sunshine, and I've been out a couple of times already. It's what time is it? 1:15. Went out very early with my son. We got into the habit of having a little walk straight after breakfast, which is really nice. We were doing it because he had a sore leg, and we just kept it up. It's nice. We didn't go very far. We often go along the canal path, but we've had a lot of rain, so it's really muddy. So we decided not to do that today. In a few days' time, it'll probably be really good again. You know, we forecast quite a few dry days. But we went up the hill by our house. It's on a road, so you're just going up past houses. But there's a little footpath off the road, and we just popped up to that footpath, which is again sort of tarmac, and then it leads into a field. Now we didn't go into the field, but we looked over the fence, and across the fields is a woodland, and it's really pretty, so we just thought we'd go and have a look at that. So we did that. We thought it might look really pretty from the frost, but it was just misty. So we could see the top of the hill popping out from the mist, but there was loads of mist, but still it was nice. And then when we turned round and walked back down the hill, I'm going to use the Sun-Kissed to add in some more colour. Now I'm going to sharpen it. I want it quite sharp. So when we turned around and walked back down the hill, we could look across to the hill opposite us, which was a different one to the one we had to look at. Very confusing. We live in a valley, there's loads of hills. So what I'm going to do with this is add a bit of shadow rather than worrying about the pattern of the straw. We'll add that with a different pencil. So I'm going to go around the edges of all the little items like this, just adding in a little shadow line like this. Okay, it's quite intricate work. I did hold my breath then, but I'll try and talk when I'm doing it. So we're looking across, and you can see all the houses up on the hill, and I said to my son, you know, would you like to live up there? And he was like, yeah. And I said, but the only problem is the roads are really narrow, it's quite hard to get around. He said, I can't drive, it wouldn't be a problem, I could just walk. I was like, gosh, it's up high hill. He said, I'd get very fit. You sure would, and so would your visitors who can't drive like me. Anyway, and there's a house right on the corner of the hill. He said that would be great because it faces both, you'd be looking both directions, so in the direction we were looking from, but also the other way. So I thought it was a very interesting idea. And we were also talking about the types of houses he might like. We passed a house which is blue. It's quite a pale blue. It's painted, it's rendered and painted, and it has wooden fascias, and they're painted a sort of bluey purple colour, violet I suppose, if you will, and but quite not too dark. And I said, you know, do you like that house? And he went, no. he said I don't like the colour, paint blue houses. I was like, okay, fair enough. But he said also it's such a pain to keep up, you know, the upkeep on a painted house. I was like, yeah, I'm totally with you there, because our house is brick, so there's nothing you need to do. We used to have wooden windows which you had to, you know, get varnished and things, but we've replaced them with plastic, so there's no, I mean, the only maintenance if you want to is cleaning the sills and windows and, you know, things like that. We don't tend to do that very much anyway. So yeah, it was very practical. That bit in there, look, I think that should have been this colour. So yeah, we had a nice little natter, and then I got home and went straight out to the farmer's market, and we did go in the car because you can't carry everything that far. And what we tend to do is park, it's very naughty, in the supermarket car park. I mean, it has a 2-hour limit, so you just park there, walk to the farmer's market, do a shop there, and then go back and shop in the supermarket, and all is good. Right, that's the sort of shadowy bits. I'm thinking around this brim I'm going to put a little bit more. I feel like there'd be a bit of a shadow there. We want to sort of make sure it's obvious that that bit is higher than this bit. And I'm wondering how else I can do that. Not sure. I'm wondering whether to draw in some of the straw. I think I use a different colour. The maple. We'll use the maple. Here it is. My stomach is gurgling. I ate a big lunch. It was very nice, it was too. I'm going to go over these lines here. We bought a spelt loaf from the market. They're so good because the store we go to is basically just flour, yeast, salt, a little tiny bit of oil, and there's your bread. You know, it's so healthy. There's no emulsifiers, preservatives, sugar, all these things you get in a supermarket bread. Now I've realised that not everyone has a farmer's market available to go to, and not everyone can afford. It's much more expensive, and I think the reason for that is that there's more wastage because it doesn't have all these preservatives and additives in it. You know, there's more wastage in the process. But, and also it's yeah, they're a small company, but it's such good bread and so nice. So we were so lucky. I think I'm going to extend this bit here a little bit, so that's good. So so that was all good. And yeah, I went to supermarkets trying to find some high protein. My son wants some more high protein sort of foods to try, because he sometimes finds his meals don't seem to last him, if you know what I mean. He needs a bit more energy, so looking for things. But the protein bars and snacks, they're just so full of stuff. I'm just adding a few extra lines in. I don't know why I'm doing that, I just feel like I want to. Yeah, the energy bars and things have so much sugar, and even if they're natural, they still have date paste syrups, coconut sugar and those sorts of things, which are still sugars at the end of the day. They're just fruit sugars, and actually fructose is, I don't know if it's when it's in the form of a date paste, but when it's fructose syrup, it actually does us a lot of harm. It doesn't spike blood sugar in the same way as like glucose, but it does. It turns to fat more easily and tends to turn to internal fat around the organs, so I gather from research I've seen. So I try to avoid fructose because we don't buy sorts of things. I'm going to leave that like that, And I may feel I want to go darker later, but I'm going to do the florals now because I'm looking forward to doing those. And then I will come back and see. Now, we haven't done any orange flowers yet, I'm quite aware of. We've done pink and purple in both of our earlier pictures and then yellow. So I want to make sure that I do the full range of colours. We've got a lot to do. I'm looking, that one might be the same as that one. That one might be the same as that one and that one. There's a few that we could do the same, but we could do them all differently. I haven't quite decided, but I definitely want to do some orange. So let's start with that to make sure I don't forget. So here is our orange, and I think I'm just going to start with this one here. And I'm just going to fade it towards the edge. These pencils, by the way, I feel work very nicely on this paper. To be honest, I haven't found any pencils that don't really work that well on this paper, which is rather good news. Of course, because this particular book isn't available to buy anymore, me telling you about the paper feels slightly irrelevant, but they do produce other books. So if you're thinking of buying one of theirs, I actually do rather like the paper. They have a realization that their audience is very fussy with regards to paper, not in a nasty way, but you know, they want to think about the quality. Now they were slightly, I don't think this is the secret, they're slightly concerned about releasing this on Amazon print on demand because of the paper being different. They were a bit worried that they might get a bit of a backlash. But I think there was such high demand for it that that they just had to do it, really, you know, and some people are okay with the Amazon paper. It depends where you buy it from, which country you're in, which print run you'll have, etc. It's very inconsistent. So from one book to the next, it might be a bit different. So that's where it becomes a little bit tricky for me to say whether I like or dislike it. I find the American Amazon paper is more toothy. The UK one is more smooth. But I haven't had any books from them for quite a while, so that may have changed. We also don't have any blue flowers, so we're going to go for that as well. What sort of blue? What would make a pretty blue? We should do the French blue. That's quite a nice one. I usually use this for sky, actually. But yeah. Oh, there it is. French blue. I'm going to do this one. I know I haven't done the middle. I'm still thinking. I haven't decided yet. I think that flower looks like this one, but I might just do a different colour just for interest. Yeah, so paper is a tricky one, isn't it? But this particular book, I found all, you know, I've coloured in quite loads of their books, and I find all pencils, whether I've used polys, Prismas, you know, a soft or a hard, it just works. So that's great. Yeah, so we went, so we've been busy, and when we came back from the supermarket, we cleaned the house. And I had just a little bit of time before lunch, so I'm colouring a picture in Hannah Carlson's. There isn't one over here. I'm tempted to do this one. I want the same colours across both sides, really, just so that we've got some sort of symmetry. Tales from the Witch's Cottage is on my sort of to finish this year list, so I was colouring one from there. It was a giant cat, which is interesting, but I was doing the trees. I just started the cat, actually, but I'm doing that with my Prismacolor pencils. I find they work really well in Hannah's books, and I often use them because of the people. I know how to colour people in Prismacolor. It's how I learnt to colour people, so I tend to sort of stick with that. I'm going to do a sort of purpley pink. I'm just looking at what I've got. I think the Rose Lustre is quite a good one, if I can find it. Is it that one? Is that right? Yeah, see, it looks purple. We'll try it. I need to sharpen it though. On my swatch chart, it looks much pinker. So we'll see how it comes out. Now these three to me look the same, but I want this one and one over here in the same colour. So I'm going to sort of just do two that look slightly different in the same colour. I think it'll work if you don't look that closely. Well, even if you do, flowers aren't always the same colours. This is a nice colour, isn't it? I can hear my neighbour doing some sort of angle grinding or something in his garden. I don't know if you can hear it. It's not happening quite now. Or it might just be that he's using his electric screwdriver or that sort of thing. I don't know what he's doing. I did chat to him earlier, but only on a messenger. Or we found a parcel of his on the floor outside his front door just as we were leaving, and it seemed a little bit early, so we took it in, and I messaged him and said, but actually we're going out, but the parcel's there if you want it, and my boys are here so you can grab it. And he's really cross about them being left outside, not with us obviously. He's very appreciative that we rescued them for him. He gets really cross about them being left outside when they get wet and stuff. The other day we rescued some off his doorstep and they were absolutely soaked through. This one wasn't wet, but we thought we'd still take it in because you never know. Someone might pick it up, or it might start raining, whatever it is. But anyway, true love. He said, I'm always up, just knock. But you know, never quite sure. So, or sometimes I know he's up because I can hear him, like I can hear him now in the garden. So, but you don't always know, do you? But obviously the boys were at home, so he must have, one of them must have gone and got the door. So that was good. I didn't ask him actually. When I got back, I forgot. But anyway, he picked it up. So that was good. And all was good there. What else did we do that was exciting? My husband was very excited by the fact they're laying cable around the area. On the main road by us, they've been laying it. This is for cable TV. Now this one here, I could go with a different colour, but I think I'm going to stick with this red just so that it's the same on both sides. I know that we moved them around a bit, but I think it just makes more sense to me. Now at the moment it looks like it's missing something colour wise. I don't know if you're feeling that too. But I think once we put in the centres of the flowers, which I'm going to do in yellows, I know it's a bit stereotypical, but that's what I fancy doing. I think they look nice and spring-like with yellow centres. And then once we've done these leaves, it's going to make a big difference to the colour balance. And we can always balance it out with whatever we do with the ribbon. That's why I've left that. So I'm going to grab this Hot Sun colour and do some of the flower centres with this. I think I'm really tempted to just do them all the same. I think that's what I'm going to do, because I've used some of the yellows already for the hat, so I don't want to go with any of those, and some of them are quite pale and I want these yellows to stand out a little bit. There we go. Now for the leaves, to me they all look the same. So I am tempted to do them all the same colour. I'm just having a look at my green colours, and I'm thinking the apple green might just work for all of them. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I've got to find it though. Is that it there? Yeah, there we go. Apple green. Yeah, so I've been walking loads more. It was last year actually. I decided that I wanted to start walking more. This was at the beginning of last year. So apple green, sorry, I think I did show you. And what I'm going to do with these is just go a bit darker at the base and lighter on the tip. So I decided I wanted to start walking more last year, and I didn't really achieve it. I knew that I should be. I mean, we all know that we should be moving, but I wasn't really. And then a couple of events motivated me to start doing it this year. Again, I thought about it as a New Year resolution, and I sort of, and then I thought maybe if I just say 3 times a week, it's not too unrealistic. So I did start off just doing that. And then I read a few things. There was some health stuff I was reading saying that exercise can help prevent certain diseases. Now, I only thought it was heart disease, but actually there's a lot of other ones that it can help as well. So I was reading this, I thought, oh, that's rather good. And then also the link to helping menopause. So, oh, okay. So that sort of made me curious, but I didn't really do anything still. You know how it is. And then I saw this, listened to a podcast, and someone was saying, well, you should really be exercising for 3 hours a week moderately, and then doing some out of breath type exercise, more cardio. These are a little bit light. I'm going to add some darker green. I want them a little bit darker. You don't have to do this if you're happy with them. I just feel like I'm just looking, jungle light. I'm going to grab some jungle light. Can't find it. Is that it? Yeah. To these sort of bases, just to darken them a bit. It just seemed too pale to me. Anyway, so, and that you were supposed to do resistance training and all this different exercise. I was like, wow. And so that started to motivate me a bit more. And then my husband had his health issues, and which are caused by a sedentary lifestyle. And I was like, that was like the final. Also my son had his health issue where he needed to walk, where he had a sore leg and he needed to gently exercise it, and I was going with him just to help him, to motivate him. So all of those things combined together made me think, right, I need to start going out every day. And then last week and the week before, I've often had to go out more than once a week. And once a day, sorry, more than once a day. Where I may have had to have popped to the shop because I forgot something, or, you know, pop out with my son first thing, and then I need to go into town and do something later once the shop's open, or different things like that. So I've ended up going out quite a lot of times. Now we've got the green in there, I feel it looks a lot more balanced colour-wise. And personally, I feel like I want a pale pink here. I know we haven't done these. Excuse me. Pale pink or violet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do these, and then I'm going to think about that, whether it is pale pink or violet, jungle light. I'm sure I'll probably go pale pink. And I'm going to do the stems with this slightly darker colour. So this week I have been out once or twice every day, and I was looking on my Fit app. My phone has I think it's a Google One Fit app, and it measures your heart points. And last week I did enough heart points, and so I have this week as well, so that's really good news. It tells you how long you've been exercising for, and I hit those targets, and how many steps. Now, I've never managed 10,000 steps in a day, even though I went out twice a day. This is apple green. But I think that I do quite a lot of steps at home that I don't measure, because I'm just going to go over the top of this bit and then take it to the tip. Because I don't carry my phone around with me in the house, it's not measuring my steps unless I only put it in my pocket if I'm going out. So therefore it's not measuring my steps unless I'm actually out, and I'm sure I'd be doing plenty around the house most of the time. I remember one morning I measured my steps when I was getting my kids getting ready for school. So I just got to blow my nose and then we'll select a colour. I was you know, making lunch boxes, breakfast, doing all those morning chores and things, and I did 1,000 steps before I'd even left the house. So I was like, I don't think I have a trouble reaching 10,000 steps if I do go out, even if it's... Sorry, I'm trying to turn my pencil case, and my tripod's getting in the way. Right, I'm going to do a light pink and then put some darker pink on to make some shadows. I'm going to use the carnation to start with. So but I realised it's not just the number of steps. You're supposed to be getting out of breath for a while. And so it's quite good if I try and walk fast or hill walking. But one massive advantage has come out of this as well is that now when I go for a walk, I come home and I'm energised. When I first started doing it, I would go out for a walk, and when I came back I would sit on the stairs, take my shoes off, and I would just have to sit there for a minute, and I'd be like, oh, you know. But now I don't feel like that anymore, and I feel like I can go much faster. I've got much more energy. It's only been a few weeks. It's really good. So that's fantastic. So I realise not everyone is able to go out like that, but if you can, it's certainly worth a try. Now I'm going for a darker pink now. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the sassy pink. Oop, here it is. Sassy pink, and we're going to try and put in some shadows and shine into our bow. So this part here is going to be darker like that and like that, but here what I'm going to do is make it darker here and then start to fade it towards the centre. Do the same thing from the bottom, and hopefully we can give a slightly satiny look to our ribbon if we can make it look like there's a bit of a shine in the centre. Sorry, I don't know why I'm a bit sniffy. My son had a cold last week and now my other son's got one, so I guess that might be it. It might be their fault. My husband had a flu jab on Saturday today, but he was fine. He said his arm was a little bit sore, but he felt fine. Whereas I know that some people feel a bit poorly after theirs, but he was fine. He didn't even know why he'd been offered it. It was quite funny because we happened to be sitting in the doctor's for a follow-up appointment for him, which all went swimmingly. It was all brilliant. And they have these little TVs in there playing a video, and it said you're entitled to a flu jab if you are, and it had this sort of list, and it said over 65, a carer for someone with a low immune system, or if you have a particular disease or whatever it might be. And he didn't fit any of these criteria. I went, you must be over 65. He is 50 something, I can't remember, 50 something. It's certainly not 65. It's quite funny. I thought it was funny anyway. He was in a good mood. It's certainly in a good mood after the doc gave him the all clear and said he's doing fine, but he gave him some lifestyle advice and showed him a little exercise to do. So if he's sitting down, he can't get up and walk around, what to do to just keep his legs moving, which is really good. So it was all great news. Right, but we are done. I think it looks quite spring-like. The orange looks really fluorescent on my camera screen. It isn't so fluorescent in real. I don't know if it's just the way the light's reflecting off it. But there is our cute little straw hat. It looks very summery to me rather than spring-like, but that's okay. That is me for today, so I hope everyone has a really super day. Thank you so much for watching, and happy colouring.